Have you ever wondered why some people seem to achieve financial freedom while others constantly struggle, even though both groups have the same 24 hours in a day? What truly separates those who build wealth from those who live in regret? And most importantly, what choices are you making today that will determine your financial tomorrow? If you're serious about improving not just your money, but your mindset, then you're in the right place. Before we begin, make sure you hit that subscribe button, because together, we're building a path to lasting success, one lesson at a time.
1. The price of discipline versus regret. Jim Rohn often reminded us that everyone pays a price in life, the price of discipline or the price of regret. Discipline may feel difficult today, but regret is far heavier tomorrow. Think about it. Waking up early, budgeting, saving, and making wise choices may feel inconvenient, but living with the consequences of financial mistakes can feel unbearable. The missed opportunities, the debts that pile up, and the constant stress of not being prepared are the penalties we pay when we avoid discipline. Regret never asks for permission. It simply arrives one day, reminding you of what you could have done differently. Discipline is the short-term pain that prevents long-term suffering. Every time you choose discipline, you're buying yourself freedom. Every time you avoid it, you're putting debt, stress, and regret on credit, waiting to be collected later. The person who budgets feels a slight pinch today, but later experiences the joy of financial peace. The person who avoids budgeting feels relief today, but years later faces financial anxiety that cannot easily be undone. This is the paradox of discipline. What feels heavy at the start becomes lighter over time, while what feels light at the start becomes crushing later on. Imagine a young professional earning a modest salary. If they practice discipline, saving a portion of their income, avoiding unnecessary debt, and learning about investments, they may at first feel like they're missing out. Their friends might take expensive vacations or buy flashy cars, while they quietly drive something reliable and live within their means. Yet years later, the disciplined professional has wealth, stability, and freedom, while the undisciplined one may struggle with debt and insecurity. This difference does not come from luck, but from the daily price paid in discipline rather than regret. Regret has a unique sting because it reminds us that we had the power to choose differently. Unlike external misfortunes, regret is internal. It tells us we could have avoided the pain. That's why Jim Rohn's reminder is so powerful. Life gives you no escape from paying a price, but you do have a choice in which bill you accept. Do you pay up front with discipline, or do you delay and pay with compounded regret? The former builds you, while the latter breaks you. If you want true freedom, accept discipline now. It's cheaper than regret.
2. Habits that shape finances. Wealth doesn't just appear. It is built brick by brick, habit by habit. The way you spend, save, and invest determines the life you live years from now. If your habits are careless, your finances will collapse. But if your habits are intentional, your financial future becomes unshakable. This truth is both humbling and empowering. It means your future is not determined by chance, the economy, or your background alone. It is primarily shaped by the habits you practice daily. The simple act of tracking where your money goes each month may seem small, but it is the foundation of financial clarity. Small daily choices compound. Drinking one less coffee, investing a small amount each month, keeping track of your expenses. It may look minor, but multiplied by years, these habits create either wealth or poverty. The truth is simple. Your financial habits reveal your financial destiny. No one becomes wealthy by accident, and no one falls into poverty overnight. These states are often a result of accumulated patterns. A spender rarely realizes how damaging small leaks can be, yet a saver recognizes that every little choice is a seed planted into the future. The habits you nurture now will either feed your future self or starve it. Consider two people with the same income. One spends without thought, never saving. convinced that their paycheck is meant for immediate enjoyment. The other saves 10%, avoids unnecessary expenses, and invests steadily. 10 years later, the first has little to show for all their hard work, while the second has not only savings but also investments that are compounding on their behalf. What made the difference? Not luck, not genius, but habits. Habits are invisible architects shaping the financial structures we live in. If your habits are weak, your financial house will collapse at the first storm. If they are strong, your house will withstand anything. Habits are powerful because they operate quietly, often unnoticed. You don't need dramatic gestures to build wealth. You need consistent, intentional habits. Start small. Track your expenses, automate your savings, and learn before you spend. These habits form a chain, and over time, the chain becomes unbreakable. Wealth is not about how much you earn, but about how disciplined your habits are with what you earn. Master your habits, and you master your finances. Ignore them, and you hand over your financial destiny to chance and chaos.
3. Consistency builds wealth. Success is rarely about big leaps. It's about small, consistent actions practiced over time. Anyone can save for a week. Anyone can stick to a budget for a month. But the real winners are those who stay consistent year after year. Wealth does not reward the impulsive, it rewards the steady. The difference between the person who achieves financial peace and the one who doesn't is not a matter of intensity, but of consistency. Intensity burns quickly and fades, but consistency builds momentum that cannot be stopped. Consistency compounds. A little effort, applied faithfully, grows into something powerful. Just like water carves through rock, consistent financial discipline carves out wealth. Your results won't appear overnight, but they will arrive if you keep showing up. Saving $100 one time won't change your life. Saving $100 every month for 20 years will. The principle of consistency transforms ordinary actions into extraordinary results. It is not the size of your action, but the repetition of it that builds strength. In finances, consistency is the bridge between dreams and reality. Think of investing. Markets rise and fall, and anyone can feel tempted to quit during downturns. But those who stay consistent, who keep investing despite fluctuations, emerge far ahead. This is because consistency takes advantage of time, the greatest ally in wealth building. The person who tries to time the market may win once, but lose overall. The consistent investor, however, always wins in the long run. The same applies to saving, budgeting, and learning. The reward belongs to the one who refuses to stop. Consistency also builds character. When you practice consistent financial habits, you develop patience, self-control, and resilience. These qualities extend beyond money into every part of life. A person who is consistent in saving is often consistent in health, relationships, and personal growth. The discipline to do small things repeatedly without needing immediate results is what separates the extraordinary from the ordinary. Wealth, after all, is not a single destination. It is the product of countless consistent steps. Choose consistency, and wealth will eventually choose you. 4. Delayed gratification. One of the greatest secrets to financial success is the ability to delay gratification. At its core, this skill is about resisting the temptation of instant pleasure in exchange for something far greater in the future. It is the choice between spending money on fleeting desires today and planting seeds that will grow into abundance tomorrow. Unfortunately, many people fall into the trap of living for the moment without considering the long-term cost. A new phone, the latest pair of sneakers, or an expensive night out may feel good in the moment, but every impulsive purchase steals from future possibilities. When you say yes to every short-term indulgence, you unknowingly say no to opportunities that could have brought financial independence, freedom, and peace of mind later in life. To master delayed gratification, you must first understand that money is not simply a tool for consumption, it is a tool for transformation. The dollars you spend today could have been invested to grow tomorrow. Every choice becomes a trade-off. Do you prefer instant satisfaction that fades quickly, or do you prefer the compounding rewards that last a lifetime? This principle is not just about saving. It is about changing how you see the purpose of money. When you delay gratification, you start to realize that wealth is not created by how much you earn, but by how much you keep and grow. People who embrace this discipline view money as seeds that must be planted and cared for, not candies to be eaten the moment they are in hand. Consider the person who consistently spends every paycheck on entertainment and luxuries versus the one who invests a portion into stocks, real estate, or education. The spender may look richer in the present, driving a flashy car or wearing designer clothes, but in reality, they are often just one paycheck away from financial disaster. The disciplined investor, however, might appear modest now, but they are silently building wealth, security, and options for the future. In 10 years, the spender is likely in debt and still chasing appearances, while the investor enjoys freedom from financial stress. This is the power of delayed gratification. It builds a foundation of freedom while others are trapped by impulsiveness. The discipline of waiting is not easy. Our world is designed for instant consumption. Advertisements encourage us to buy now and pay later. Social media parades endless lifestyles of luxury, tempting us to measure our worth by comparison. But the wise understand that true wealth is rarely visible. It grows quietly in bank accounts, investments, and disciplined habits. Each time you resist an unnecessary purchase, you strengthen your ability to control your financial destiny. Each time you say, "Not now," you are saying yes to freedom, security, and opportunity later in life. Those who prosper in life are not always those with the highest income, but those with the strongest patience. A modest earner who consistently practices delayed gratification will often surpass a high earner who spends recklessly. Delayed gratification teaches you not only how to handle money, but also how to handle yourself. It is a form of self-respect. By choosing the future over the present, you are declaring that your long-term goals matter more than momentary distractions. This mindset separates those who prosper from those who merely survive.
5. Living with financial integrity. Money is more than numbers on a spreadsheet. It is a reflection of who you are. Living with financial integrity means that the way you earn, spend, and manage your money is aligned with your values and your character. It means being honest with yourself about what you can afford instead of pretending to live a life you cannot sustain. It means resisting the urge to go into debt just to impress others, to appear wealthier than you really are. Financial integrity is about living within your means, being faithful to your commitments, and respecting the value of every dollar. When you live with integrity, your money decisions stop being impulsive acts of ego and become deliberate acts of responsibility. One of the key aspects of financial integrity is keeping your promises. If you owe money, pay it back. If you agree to a financial obligation, honor it. Too many people damage their character by failing to meet their commitments. They borrow without intention to repay, or they hide behind excuses. But each broken promise chips away at trust. Not only the trust others place in you, but the trust you place in yourself. A life built on debt, deception, and appearances may look glamorous from the outside, but it is fragile and hollow within. True wealth is not about appearances. It is about authenticity, stability, and peace of mind. Another pillar of financial integrity is resisting the toxic game of comparison. Many people fall into financial ruin because they try to keep up with others. They buy things not because they need them, but because they want to be seen in a certain way. Yet this behavior is the very opposite of integrity, because it sacrifices truth for image.
Living with integrity means acknowledging that your worth is not measured by your car, your clothes, or the size of your house, but by the strength of your character. Integrity frees you from the exhausting cycle of comparison and allows you to live a life that is genuinely yours. True wealth is about more than having money. It is about having harmony between your finances and your values. If your financial life is built on lies, debt, and pretense, then even a large bank account cannot give you peace. But when your money choices aligned with honesty, responsibility, and discipline, you build a foundation that cannot be shaken. A person with financial integrity may not always be the richest in the room, but they are often the freest. They sleep well at night because they know they have nothing to hide, nothing to prove, and nothing to fear. Financial integrity is also a legacy. The way you manage your money sets an example for others, your children, your family, your community. When people see that you're responsible, trustworthy, and principled in your financial dealings, they learn from your example. In a world full of shortcuts, dishonesty, and reckless spending, integrity stands out as rare and powerful. By living this way, you don't just get richer in money, you get richer in character, in reputation, and in strength. And in the end, that is the kind of wealth that lasts.
So now the question comes back to you. Will you pay the price of discipline today or the price of regret tomorrow? Every financial habit, every choice, every act of consistency is shaping your future right now. If you found this message powerful, don't just watch, apply it. And if you're committed to growing in discipline, wealth, and wisdom, make sure to subscribe so you never miss these life-changing lessons. Your future self will thank you.